Hello there, welcome or welcome back to Beauty Bees. I'm Iris and today I'm going to be doing a Chatty Get Ready with me. Chatty because I want to follow up on some of the goals that I set out in my other Chatty Get Ready with me and that I posted at the very end of last year, beginning of this year, and a Get Ready with me because I feel awkward at not having something to do with my hands when I'm talking about my life. So, let me zoom you guys in and we will get on started. So I recently purchased my first new palette of 2023 and it is from ColourPop. It is the Petals on Point palette. Here is what this looks like. It is a 9-pan palette, 5 very cool toned neutral shades and 4 delicate pinks. I thought this was super pretty. I wouldn't even say that these are ballet pinks. I think they're just a little bit lighter than that. I feel that this is really perfect for springtime in particular, but these are also the types of neutrals that I really prefer. I love bringing in a little bit of pink to an otherwise super nude neutral look, and I think this is going to work out really well for me. I do wish I had a mirror, because I had to get out a different palette for the mirror for this video, but you can't win them all, right? So that's what we'll be using today, but I'm going to start out with some skincare or primer, I guess. This is the Soothing Face Primer from e.l.f. I'm going to try not to introduce every product as I use it. If you have any questions about anything, you can, of course, ask about them down in the comments, and I will do my best to respond. So the first goal that I had for this year was to do a little bit of a makeup low buy, no buy. I called it a no buy. It was really a low buy, and I have kind of mixed results with this because my intention for the first 3 months of the year was to do 5 out, 1 in, and that was a total failure. I don't even know how far underwater I was by the end of that little 3-month experiment, but it was at least double digits, very possibly close to triple digits, and that's with the amount that I would have needed to use up to account for what I brought in. It was bad. And however, when I did my inventory videos this past month, my numbers are looking really pretty good. Very few categories have increased. If they did, the increase was rather small, except for nail polish. Nail polish is its own total thing. But my makeup, my skincare, all of that has really stayed pretty constant or decreased slightly. And I'm so happy with that. That is what I wanted for myself. I'm okay with having a bigger collection. That's fine by me. I like having options. I really do cycle through things, but I don't need to be constantly buying more and more and just have a hoard. At some point, you can't use it all. I'm not interested in collecting for the sake of collecting. I want to purchase to use. So I think I'm starting to hit a good balance with everything, again, except for nail polish. But even that, I've been pretty good this past month. I haven't purchased any nail polish this month, and it's like the 24th or 25th. I have no plans to do so in the next 6 days. So I'm really happy with that. Now let's get to actually using the eye palette, and we can talk about some of the other goals that I had. I wanted to learn about SEO, search engine optimization. Have I made any move to do that? No, not at all. And I still think that that is a valuable skill for the 21st century. I think that's a valuable thing to know about, especially if you have a channel or an Instagram or something like that, but I just have not felt motivated to do that this year. I've made a lot of progress with some of my other goals. I wanted to get back into reading, probably via audiobooks, and I did that. And I've read, I think, 23 or 24 books this year. I've really, really been enjoying that. I found a new interest through it. I don't remember if I read The Hobbit first or if I read the Lord of the Rings trilogy first, but I went through all 4 of those books in a week and a half, and I loved them. I enjoyed them so, so much. I tried to read them back when I was in middle school, probably, and just hadn't been interested, which is very strange to me because I feel like middle school is kind of the perfect age for kids to get into that sort of thing. And I was exactly the kid who you would think would be really into Lord of the Rings. I intended on doing cool tone neutrals on my eyes, I'm realizing, but I went with pink. I was a really nerdy kid in middle school. I got off topic there. But for some reason, it didn't click. I kind of thought that I needed to keep really good track of like who's the son of who, and they're related this way. I really was very obsessed with like the footnotes and keeping track of that when I was in middle school because I was really into Star Wars novels. And that stuff does matter in the Star Wars novels. I read like 200 of those when I was in middle school. So I was really cool. Anyway, I got so into Lord of the Rings. I've been really, really enjoying it. I'm reading the Silmarillion right now, and that is a slog. I have that loaned from the library, which I've actually gotten into going to, and been really enjoying that as well. I'm just watching the films. I've watched the extended edition like 3 times all the way through in the past 2 months. I have no chill. I'm either completely disinterested in something or it's what I think about like 15 hours a day. There's nothing in between for me. And for some reason, Lord of the Rings is pressing all of the little buttons that make my brain really happy recently. I'm just really glad to have something that I'm interested in because it had been a while since I really got into something, and that's sad. So the other piece of what I wanted to do this year, on a me level that's going really well, is I wanted to finish up saving for a down payment and buy a house. And I'm house hunting right now. I have the down payment ready to go. My makeup low buy, no buy has definitely helped me towards that. I am fortunate enough to be in a position where my makeup spending was not going to make or break me as far as saving up a down payment went. But, every even extra $10 really does help. And I'm so excited to have my own place, to be able to make some changes, which I've never been able to do. I've never owned any property. I've always been in apartments that I never even had like the intention of living in for more than maybe 2 years. I think this is the longest I've ever lived anywhere in my adult life, and I've been here for 2 years and a month. So for me, this is going to be a big change, but a really exciting one. And honestly, I'm looking forward to it from a financial point of view too, because the amount of money that I've been spending on rent plus saving every month to purchase a house is going to be a lot more than like my mortgage payment would be. So that's depressing to think about, but I'm glad that's going to change. I also wanted to make friends and cook more and exercise more. So I have no idea where I thought all of that extra time was going to come from. But somehow, I've been actually doing okay. Not great, but okay on all three of those fronts. I'm just really happy with how this is going. I've met quite a few new people, largely through work this year, but that's been good. I just generally feel a lot more connected than I did 6 months ago. And I think that process had kind of already started by the time I made my goals video 6 months ago, but it's definitely continued to improve. I'm just really happy with where things are at the moment. I've started playing Pokemon Go again. I was really into that in grad school, and then I fell off during quarantine because I just didn't live near any Pokestops or anything. So it was like, okay, I can walk to the one gym in my area, but it never changes. And I just got so bored with it. But it really did do a good job of getting me out a little bit more, getting me walking more, and I've taken that back up. I've gotten back into it, and it really has been a good change for me. I find myself pretty easily hitting step goals that I've set for myself. Not this week because I was in meetings all week, but in general, I find myself hitting my step goals a lot more easily and without really having to consciously think about the step goal itself. It's just, oh, I want to hit whatever thing in Pokemon Go, so I naturally end up walking more, and I've been not cooking a whole lot, honestly. Still not a good cook. Also, just not very motivated to do it. But, I cook probably every other week for myself versus never. And I'm, not super healthy or anything, but I feel like I'm making positive changes. I'm not doing constantly worse, which I think is kind of where I was at the beginning of the year. Like, I'm making small changes in the right direction versus constantly moving a little bit in the negative direction. I really like that highlight shade. Isn't that pretty? I hadn't used the neutrals in this palette before. I'd only used the pinks and then maybe this brown. I've only had this for about a week, and I've been just really busy with work. So in the morning I was just reaching into this pink or this pink and putting something rosy from my Viseart Petite Pro 3 in my crease and heading out the door. I really like the mostly neutral with a little bit of pink look that I did today. I feel like this is really cute. So let me get some mascara on and gather my thoughts so I don't just ramble, and we will figure out the rest of the face. My primer is pilling up so badly. I think this needs to go. This just does not mesh with what I'm using these days. I haven't put any new skincare on. I applied a serum this morning, kind of a thicker serum. I basically use it as a moisturizer. I applied that this morning. It's been several hours, and this primer is still pilling up on top of it. I had always assumed that it was the moisturizer that I was using at that point was causing this reaction, I think that's just pills. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm fine without it. I also am not going to be using blush today. I got a little bit of extra sun, so I'm naturally very rosy today. But I'm not going to be using a pink blush. I am going to bring in a little bit of this bright purple just up in this area. I find that really sculpts my face. That's a very flattering blush placement for me personally. So I'm using this really bold pinky purple from ColourPop. This is Night Bloom. I assume it's not available because nothing's available from ColourPop after a year. And I've had this for a while. But it's really pretty. So I'm just putting that up by my temple, and then I'll bring in a little bit of a white purple highlight. I think that'll be really cute. And thank you to Aging Ophelia for suggesting that combination. I have had the Laura Geller highlight that I'm going to be using for a few months, but for some reason this has not been coming out the last couple months. But when I laid out all of my stuff in my inventory video, she pointed out that those two would be really cute together, and we're testing that today. I think she's totally right though. So here is that Laura Geller highlighter. I don't know if I can get it to catch the light, but it has a beautiful purple sheen to it. So I've got kind of a lot of it on my highlighting brush. I'm just going to drag it along my cheekbones, and isn't that just such a pretty glow? I really enjoy it. Now, what I like to do, like at the apple of my cheek, is I still like to have a little bit of that highlight, so I'll drag it down, but I don't want it to be a sharp line like it is other places on my cheekbone. So I find that just putting my finger over it helps to blur that line a little bit, gives me just a glowy apple of the cheek. I think it looks really healthy, and it allows me to have a pretty seamless transition from that highlight to a glowy cheek. And I think that's it for the face proper. The headband isn't staying today. I just needed something because my bangs are getting so long. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with them. My original intention was to grow out my hair and grow out my bangs and just cut them into curtain bangs when they were long enough. But now I kind of want to go back to the blunt fringe that I had. So I don't know. I don't have a haircut scheduled or anything, but if you have thoughts, I would be very interested in hearing what people's opinions are, because I've been spending way more time thinking about that than I really should have. So I'm going to be doing a mixture of a couple different lips today. This is DTLA from Urban Decay, and then to make it more purple and make it jive with the blush, I'm going to add some of Moon Goddess from Copacetic. This is like this lavender, super bright lavender shade. And honestly, they don't have a great formula. It's kind of a stiff, sort of dry formula, so I like mixing it with something that has a little bit more of a balmy texture, like the Urban Decay. And I also find the color just so much more wearable when it's mixed with more of a nude, maybe something that has a little bit of brown to it, something that can add some depth to this, really ground it, because this is very bright and just not my vibe on its own. But in the context of this look, I think it worked really well. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed hearing me ramble about where I am today versus where I was 6 months ago. Let me know how your progress on any of your New Year's resolutions are going. I hope that it's absolutely fabulous. I hope that 2023 is working out to be a pretty good year for all of us because we deserve it. The first quarter of the 2020s was really, really rough, and it needs to be on the up from now on. So, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I see you guys in the next one. Bye!